Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Every time I see that intro, it just makes me so happy. I feel like I'm doing something here at Poppy's Conversation Corner. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Good afternoon. It's your boy Carrie, and welcome to Poppy's Conversation Corner. I'm here every Friday, y'all. So y'all should join us. Do me a favor. If you're watching me live, hit that share button. If you're watching a replay, hit that share button. Let someone know that we're having a Poppy's Conversation Corner here. Today, we have a special guest, a real special young lady here in the city of Cincinnati doing some great, exceptional, magnificent work in our school systems. We need people like her. I'm excited about her. We're going to learn some more about her today, or we're going to learn something about her today. Her name is Josalyn Foster. Ooh, you heard that? I had to get on top of the note. But we're going to bring on Josalyn so she can come on here and let us know something about her. You hear, almost messed up your last name, and you should be upset with me right now.
No, it's all good.
No, I suck at that. I do. I was trying to go off the top of my head, and then things just start leaving. But how are you?
Doing good. How are you doing, Carrie?
I am here. Yeah. I don't want to sit on your couch right now, but I need, to release, if you will. But it's about you today. It's about you. So we're going to make this about you. So welcome to Poppy's Conversation Corner. Thank you for taking some time out. Charisma. Hey, Charisma. That's our homegirl, Carissa. Hey, how are you? But anyhow, we're going to learn something about you. So why don't you just tell us something about yourself?
Like anything about myself?
Anything, yeah. I want to know you.
Okay. So I'm a case manager for Poppies. I'm at Withrow. I'm also a PhD student at the University of Cincinnati. I'm getting my doctorate's degree in school psychology. And I'm also the program specialist for a nonprofit organization here called Girls Health Period.
I love it. So are you from Cincinnati?
I am not from Cincinnati. I never thought that I would be spending my 20s in the Midwest, but here
Really?
Here I am.
Oh, you don't. So that means, are you liking it, or are you like?
Cincinnati has definitely grown on me. I think that when I moved here in 2018, and so when I first moved here, it was really hard to find community. But now I feel so embedded within the community, especially the Black community here. And so I like it.
I think that's so important. Mm-hmm. You use the right term, community.
Yeah.
When you go somewhere, and I had to learn that. I had to learn that coming back home. That's what I was missing when I moved away. It was community. That is so important, because if you have community, that can keep you grounded. I mean, that'll keep you at least feeling like you found a place.
Yeah.
Place. So that's definitely important. So you're in Withrow.
I am in Withrow.
How is that?
This is my third year at Withrow, but it's my first year with Poppies at Withrow. So that's a different experience for me, because the first 2 years I was a practicum student through UC's program, and I was essentially shadowing the school psychologist. And their roles are different than Poppy's roles and the therapists and the case managers. So it's just been a cool experience to see the difference, but see also how they overlap in terms of supporting students. That's been cool.
So what's your experience like? I mean, because it's 3 years in, so in a sense, you kind of know the students now. But when you initially got in there, because you're in a task, you're in a position that not too many of us would do or would even desire to do. So, what was going into that for the first time? Though? I want to know your
first year that I was there. So that was my second year in my program, which my first year was all online, by the way. It was
okay.
So the world was shut down, schools were not happening in person. And so I feel a lot of the things that I learned in my program, the first year was very conceptual, because we didn't have the experience of going into the schools. So during my second year, when it was my first year at Withrow, I was just like, oh, the conceptual understanding versus like what actually building like does not match, honestly, and you have to like pivot and adjust. Like that's just something that wasn't like really talked about often, like just having to pivot and adjust. And like things come up like within school buildings, you're working with so many different like stakeholders and everyone kind of has to be on the same page. So that was just really like not jarring, but just like an experience that I wasn't like expecting, if that makes sense. But that was like still good. It was definitely like a learning experience. My second year, which was last year, I felt very comfortable like within the school building. I felt like I had a better understanding of like the role of a school psychologist. I also feel like I had a very good understanding of like how a school-based therapist is, because I was able to sit in on some sessions with Paris last year, and that was like really cool to like see the rapport that she like built with students, and just to see how like impactful like school-based mental health is. So yeah, I feel like that's like the biggest difference between like first and second year. And now this is my third year. We'll see what comes up.
What lies ahead for you. Now, okay, so explain to us, tell me, because I'm not in the school system, we work in a sense together, but I don't. So what exactly is a day like for you in Withrow? Like, what do you actually do? Like, what's happening? What are you doing with my child?
Okay, so this year, my typical day looks like I get there, I start pulling students for case management services. Those students have either already like met with the school-based therapist or in the process of meeting with them. And since school just first started, like I'm just in the process of like building rapport with students, getting a good idea of their goals, getting a good idea of like some of the resources that they need, some of the supports that I can provide them with. And yeah, it kind of just like varies. All the student interactions are different. All the days look different. But like in a sense, like those are the things that kind of remain the same.
So how is it, do you find any barriers though with students? Because when I look at you, and this is definitely not anything to like shade or anything, but you in a sense look like a student. So like, how, do you find any barriers?
I feel like with the students, no. With the staff, I'm like, I work here. With my badge, I work here. Please. But with the students, no, I think that it's cool because I feel like I look like I'm like only a little bit older than them. So I feel like that almost helps like build rapport. And I think that like, I don't know, from what I can tell, I think that students are like maybe a little bit more receptive to me because I am younger. And yeah, I'm just like not really too far removed from like their experiences. Like I have like a lot of seniors, for example, that are like getting ready to go to college. I'm literally still in college for like the third time now. So I feel like because of that, I'm like able to like kind of guide them a little bit better and maybe even provide like more of like a mentorship kind of like aspect, which I think could be beneficial. So no problems with the.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think, and I'm going to laugh on this all day. The fact that I was not expecting you to tell me that it was the staff that makes you feel it. I kind of like that though. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, Black don't crack anyhow. But no, so with that, like with your position though, and then you're doing case management. So you're meeting students, you're getting their stories, the backgrounds. Has there ever been a time that you've like felt like so overwhelmed with all of the weight that you're taking on with these students, or do you take that weight on? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, I mean, because I know students in 2023 they don't have the same issues as students as like 2020 or 2002, 2004 students. They're not the same type of students. And I'm only trying to talk about myself, like when I didn't have the same barriers, restrictions, like the things that, these students are going through in life. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, you personally, like, do you take that weight on? Or is that something like?
I'm a very empathetic person. Like I've literally like always been like that. Like when I was younger, if I saw someone else crying, like I would cry. Like literally like always have been like that. Which I think honestly like serves me well, like in a field like this, to be like so empathetic. I think that while I'm like meeting with students and they're kind of like telling me what's going on, I'm taking in like how they're feeling about it so that I can like be mindful and how I like address them and how like I support their situation. I try not to like internalize like their feelings and like what they're going through, because then I think that would be like a bit much. But like I'm a human, like I feel like all the feelings just like everyone else. And so there are some times with students where I like kind of like take it on, but then I just have to take a breather and kind of just like reground myself and then be ready to like support the next student.
So like, is there like a situation like that you felt like you've taken on too much though? Like, more like a time where you was like, maybe like this hit home, or like, I just need to like be there to support more, because like you said, like the mentorship, so it's like more longer lasting than outside of our session time, like I'm dealing with you, like
that hasn't happened like within my role like as a case manager, but that definitely happened last year and even like the year before last, when I was just kind of like shadowing the school psychologist there. We had a couple of students like grieving the loss of parents, and that is just a really like sensitive, that's just a really sensitive spot for me. So I feel like in situations like that, like I know that that's kind of like a sensitive spot for me. So I know that like I maybe like need to kind of like hand that situation off to like someone that is like more equipped to like handle and support, because that's just a hard situation. And like you're crying, you don't need to like, I'm here to support you, like crying alongside you, and so there are like situations like those where maybe I'll just take more of like a supportive role, like checking in with that student rather than like, maybe like providing them like with any sort of like services.
I like it. So I want to switch kind of directions, and I definitely apologize. Maybe I should have gotten you like all these questions, but I think like they're coming to my head as we're like talking. So I want to kind of like switch directions. So with you and Poppies, because you just said like this is your first like actual like role in Poppies. What's this like? Like how is this working? How did we get so lucky? Like,
oh my goodness. It's because I know Jen. Like I love her. I think that she's brilliant. And like I literally want to be just like her. Like my goal is to start a practice and to contract with schools and provide like culturally responsive services. Like I love that that's what we do. I love that that's like what Poppies has grown into. And so, I think that like things kind of just like worked out in that way, where I had a good relationship with Jen before she even got in Withrow. And then I was already like assigned to Withrow. And so last year I really got to see what Poppies was like at Withrow. And that just like now this year I'm just working on my dissertation and I can kind of just shape my own experiences. And so I was just like, I want to be back at Withrow, but this time like with Poppies, and just to like kind of see what that's like.
I love it. And I definitely did some research on you. So like I searched, I looked all over, child.
What did you do, Gary?
I was looking. No, but like tell us some more about you though. Like you seem so interesting. So you're working on your third degree. Yes. I saw that, and maybe it was on LinkedIn, maybe. But so now you're working on your master's, right?
My doctorate.
Oh, see, you already have that. See that it's like it was too much for me. It was too much for the people. I'm like, So what is this like? And then you're like, you have all this other stuff going on in your personal life, then you're working on your school stuff. So how is this like? Because I see your background, child. I'm like, oh,
Oh my gosh.
this woman is serious. So what's that like?
I mean, I think it's good. I think that I've really kind of gotten to like know myself and gotten to know like what's important to me. And I think that like it might seem like I have like a lot of stuff going on or like I'm in like these different roles, but they all like overlap in like one way or another. And so I feel like because I'm kind of like walking in what I'm supposed to be doing, like it comes easy. Like it doesn't feel stressful or it doesn't feel like forced. It kind of just feels like this is what I'm waking up and doing, and it feels good to me. So I just keep on doing that.
I love it. I love it. You said because you're walking in your purpose, so it just is natural for you. Mm-hmm. So with all of this walking in purpose, like you making all of these things happen, successful African American woman. What's this like with your personal life? Does this like mesh well together? Like, do you have a social life? Like, do you?
Yeah, I'm outside, Carrie. Okay.
Do you be outside? That's
I mean, yeah, I think that it works well with my personal life. Like in general, I care about mental health. In general, I care about like wellness and overall well-being, and so naturally, like that all kind of overlaps.
Oh, I love it. And I can't wait to call you Dr. Foster. Yeah, we're just going to put that into practice now. Dr. Foster, Dr. Foster. Y'all start calling this lady Dr. Foster. Put some respect on her name. I'm so excited for you. I'm glad to like have been able to learn some more about you, to know that you got all these things. Now, I want you to remember my name when you get there.
Carrie.
Don't forget me. Please don't forget us little people. But no, I thank you for sharing. But finally, before we leave, if you could share any words of wisdom to the students, because the students need you, you're their support. But what can you share with them? Because their parents are going to share this video. So.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Lucky, I wish I would have gotten that question beforehand.
Yes.
Okay, what would I tell students? Okay, I think that I would tell students that there's so much more than like their grades. Like I feel like that was something that I really struggled with, and I really like kind of had to like learn who I am outside of school. Like I feel like my identity was so wrapped up in like how well I did in school, but you're a whole person. And so like be a whole person, and like school is just like this one thing. It doesn't matter if you're like good at it or if you're like kind of like struggling a little bit. If you're struggling a little bit, there are like plenty of resources and supports at school to like kind of get you back on the right track. If you're great at it, that's great, but like you're great at other things too.
I love that. I love that. See, you're a public speaker. You thought that fast on your feet. I love it. I love it. Jen said that's the truth. So y'all heard it. You heard it straight from Dr. Foster's mouth. We're putting it into practice. We're going to call her Dr. Foster. But thank you for sharing this little bit of time with us. Y'all, Josalyn is in our school. She's doing work Monday through Friday with our students, with your children. So we should thank her. But thank her by sharing this video so everybody can know about her. And we're here every Friday at 1 p.m. to have a Poppy's Conversation Corner. But thank you, Josalyn, for spending this time with us. Y'all, I'll be back next Friday with another special guest. See y'all.
Bye.
That's it. See ya.
Harry.
Yes.
Bye.